how to control my mind from negative thoughts. Negative thoughts can be like a dark cloud looming over our lives, casting shadows on our happiness, and contributing to problems such as social anxiety, depression, stress, and low self-esteem. However, understanding how these thoughts impact us and learning effective strategies to change them can pave the way for a brighter, more optimistic outlook on life. In this article, we'll explore the interplay between thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, as well as practical steps to transform negative thinking into a positive force for personal growth and well-being. Our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are all linked, so our thoughts impact how we feel and act. So, although we all have unhelpful thoughts from time to time, it's important to know what to do when they appear so we don't let them change the course of our day, explains Rachel Goldman, PhD, a psychologist and clinical assistant professor at the NYU School of Medicine. Mindfulness, the path to self-awareness. One powerful tool for combating negative thoughts is mindfulness. Rooted in meditation, mindfulness encourages us to detach ourselves from our thoughts and emotions, observing them as impartial observers. This practice enhances self-awareness, making us more conscious of our thoughts and their impact on our well-being. Mindfulness aims to change our relationship with our thoughts, treating them as transient objects that we can choose to engage with or let pass us by. By examining the impact of our thoughts on our emotions and behaviors, we gain the ability to react more adaptively to life's challenges. Studies have shown that practicing mindfulness can reduce the frequency and intensity of negative thoughts, making it a valuable tool in the battle against pessimism. It enables us to regain control of our emotional responses, ultimately leading to more balanced and constructive thinking patterns. Identifying negative thought patterns. A crucial step in reshaping our thought processes is recognizing and labeling negative thought patterns. Cognitive distortions are common culprits behind negative thinking, and they come in various forms. 1. Black and white thinking, viewing situations as either complete successes or failures, with no middle ground. 2. Jumping to conclusions, making assumptions about others' thoughts or assuming the worst outcome without considering alternatives. 3. Catastrophizing, always expecting the worst possible outcome, ignoring more realistic possibilities. 4. Overgeneralization, applying one negative experience to all future situations, leading to anxiety and pessimism. 5. Labeling, defining oneself negatively in one area and letting it affect self-esteem in other aspects of life. 6. Should statements, holding unrealistic expectations and feeling defeated when unable to meet them. 7. Emotional reasoning, believing something is true solely based on emotional responses, often escalating negative feelings. 8. Personalization and blame, taking personal responsibility for events beyond our control. Identifying and labeling these thought patterns is the first step towards breaking their grip on our psyche. By acknowledging these thoughts as unhelpful distortions, we can begin to diffuse their power and replace them with more constructive thinking. Replacing negativity with realism, cognitive restructuring, a fundamental component of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, offers a systematic approach to replacing negative thoughts with more realistic, positive ones. Whether undertaken in therapy or self-guided, cognitive restructuring involves a series of steps. 1. Evaluate realism. Ask yourself if the negative thought is based on reality or exaggerated. 2. Reflect on past experiences. Consider how similar situations have played out in the past, and if your current thoughts align with reality. 3. Challenge the thought. Actively question the negative thought and explore alternative, more constructive perspectives. 4. Weigh pros and cons. Compare what you stand to gain by holding on to the thought versus what you might lose by doing so. 5. Recognize cognitive distortions. Be alert to thought patterns like catastrophizing and work to counteract them. While replacing negative thoughts, it's crucial to avoid overly positive but unrealistic thinking. Instead, aim for more neutral, self-compassionate alternatives that acknowledge your efforts and uncertainties. This balanced approach can foster healthier thought patterns over time. Research has shown that cognitive restructuring interventions can effectively reduce negative thoughts and biases that contribute to anxiety, underscoring the value of this technique in achieving a more positive mindset. Thought stopping versus mindfulness. It's essential to distinguish between thought stopping and mindfulness when managing negative thoughts. Thought stopping involves actively seeking and eliminating negative thoughts, which often leads to their rebounding with greater intensity. In contrast, mindfulness encourages a more detached and accepting stance toward our thoughts, reducing their impact on our emotional well-being. Experts caution against thought stopping, as it can exacerbate anxiety over time. Mindfulness, on the other hand, helps us navigate negative thoughts without being consumed by them, offering a more sustainable approach to managing our inner dialogue. Coping with criticism and rejection. For those battling social anxiety, another facet of CBT called assertive defense of the self can be valuable. This approach equips individuals with skills to handle criticism and rejection effectively. Through role-playing and real-life practice, individuals learn to assertively respond to criticism, enhancing their resilience and self-esteem. By facing potential social challenges and learning to cope with criticism, individuals can increase their tolerance for distress, ultimately countering automatic negative thoughts. Using a thought diary, also known as a thought record, is a useful tool in reshaping negative thinking. It helps identify negative thinking styles and their impact on emotions, reinforcing the understanding that thoughts, not external situations, drive our emotional responses. Thought diaries are commonly employed in CBT treatment plans, aiding in the identification and replacement of irrational thoughts with more constructive alternatives. This structured approach facilitates positive change by breaking down thought processes and emotions related to specific situations. In conclusion, negative thoughts need not hold us hostage to anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. By practicing mindfulness, identifying cognitive distortions, and engaging in cognitive restructuring, we can cultivate a more optimistic and realistic outlook on life. Thought diaries further empower us to track and transform our thought patterns, unlocking the potential for lasting positive change. Remember, the journey to change negative thoughts may not be quick, but with persistence and practice, you can create new, adaptive thought patterns that work in your favor. If negative thoughts persist and impact your daily life, consider seeking guidance from a mental health professional who can provide tailored strategies and support on your path to a more positive mindset.